Hello and welcome to Winchester Now, our news programme here on Charity Winchester Radio. I'm Anna O'Brien. On today's programme, there's good news as always to share in our community shout-outs, and we have a local roundup of news in brief for you. Plus we hear more about a special birthday milestone for a Lowland search and rescue charity, which works alongside the police to help find vulnerable missing persons across the county. Winchester Radio paints the scene of 20 artists at work as Mary Blaxland takes another visit to a Hampshire Open Studio, this time round to view the Yard Studios. And in our beautiful historic and cultural city of Winchester, which we know and love, we find out what the tourists coming here think of the place. Winchester Radio. First though, if you have visited our Facebook page recently, you'll know we posted photos there of 31-year-old Cameron Crowhurst, who went missing after attending the Boomtown Festival here in Winchester, and the family got in touch with us to appeal to listeners for help. We have now had a phone call at Winchester Radio from Cameron Crowhurst's dad. Cameron has been found and is now back with his family. His dad wanted to pass on the family's thanks to listeners and members of the public who so kindly helped look for him and shared the post about him being missing. They would appreciate being given space and privacy now after what has been a worrying time. Thank you for all your help. A charity which helps the police look for vulnerable missing people is marking its 20th anniversary. Over the last 2 decades, Hampshire Search and Rescue, or HANSAR as they're known, has carried out more than 1,000 searches, and the charity is run entirely by volunteers. Mary Blaxland spoke to the charity's vice chair, Trevor Vidler, about how it all started.
Towards the end of 2002, I believe a lady firefighter, because it used to be the police and perhaps the fire and rescue service that were called out for missing people, and she felt that there was a need for an organisation that concentrated on searching for missing people on behalf of the police. And so that was very formative. They started the ball rolling, so to speak, in about November, December 2002. And we actually formed in 2003 when we got our charitable status.
And tell me a bit about the work that you do.
All of us who are operational, we're on call 24 hours a day, every day of the year. And the police will call us if there is a need to search for and rescue, but hopefully, a vulnerable, at-risk missing person. That could be a child. It could be a person living with dementia. It could be someone who's despondent and has maybe just wants to get away from it all. So long as they are regarded as vulnerable and at risk, then the police will call us out any time of the day or night, irrespective of the weather.
Must be quite a challenging thing to do.
It can be. Not everybody has to attend everything. At the moment, we have throughout Hampshire about 140 members. Of those, 100 are operational. Some are on support members who do an awful lot of work behind the scenes, fundraising, grants, applications and so forth. But the operational members, of course, on average, we'll get 20 or 30 people out on a search. And the search could last maybe 6 hours, and it may go over into second day or even the third day.
And are there any particular searches that have stuck in your mind?
There are some that I probably wouldn't say on the radio because they're somewhat traumatic for people. Whilst I'm touching on that, we are all police volunteers. It does mean that we can access any counselling that we need for trauma risk management, so that if there is something traumatic that affects us, we have an awful lot of support both within the team and through the police. There are some difficult finds. There are some where we don't find the person, and that's not because we're not searching hard enough. It's often because they've either moved out of the area or they've gone home or they're at a friend's house or something. We normally get to the bottom of everything. We don't give up on it. Some of the nice ones perhaps are a child went missing in Whiteley Shopping Centre. It's an immediate call for us with children. With children, it just tends to pull on the emotive heartstrings. And so we were down there and the child was found very, very quickly. That's just a relief. Sometimes it's not so easy, but even when we find somebody maybe who are unwell or sometimes worse, it does give closure or settlement for the family. But to find somebody fit and well who is just lost, don't perhaps know where they are, it's quite a buzz.
Yeah, I was going to say it must be rewarding given the fact that you all give out so much time for free.
If I can touch on the numbers, so far this year, we've been called out 41 times. Since 2003, we finished our 1,000th call out earlier this year. It's not a case of glorification or anything like that. We just regard it as a milestone in our history, and it gives us the opportunity to reflect on the team members who joined us earlier, who have maybe left over the years, the effort they put in, the current team, the families of the team members who give an awful lot behind the scenes to be supportive, but it also helps us to reflect on the families we've helped. For us, as I say, it's not a matter of glorification and aiming for medals and things like that. That's not what we're in it for.
You're all volunteers and you rely on fundraising as well, don't you?
Fundraising, certainly during and post-pandemic, has been difficult, not just for us, but for everybody that's trying to run a charity. So we have events, and we try to combine our events with a bit of awareness to let people know who we are, as well as a bit of fundraising. Every penny we get goes into the running of the charity. It costs us about £35,000 a year, which sounds an awful lot of money, but we've got 3 vehicles, which turn out to most of the call-outs. We've then got equipment to replace and repair. We've got uniforms to buy. We've got insurances to pay for. So all in all, we just fundraise as best we can, and people can donate online.
If people want to find out more, if people are interested in volunteering, what should they do?
Have a look again on our social media, also on our website, www.hansar. There's a bit about us on there. We tend to recruit about 3 times a year, and we have a batch of recruits just starting now. We do get quite an influx of people wanting to join us. When they realise perhaps what the commitment is, some drop by the wayside, but there is a lot of training, there is a lot of commitment. I always tell people that their family must come first, their work, if they're working, must come second, because they need that to support the family. Hampshire Search and Rescue, Hansar, comes third, but at times Hansar can be very demanding. There's a lot of rewards. It's like a family for us. And it's like a lot of organisations. We get to know each other. The team that joined, or the members that joined last Saturday, there are a dozen of them, over the period of the next 4 to 6 months, which is the length of their training. They're going to get to know each other. They're going to set up their own WhatsApp group, and they'll become quite close-knit. But we do have members coming into the family as such, and just finding a lot of camaraderie in it.
Winchester Radio.
Here's a roundup of the news from across the Winchester area. I'm Steve Walker. Winchester is an official city of sanctuary, and if you listen regularly to Winchester Radio, you'll know we've provided much coverage around the community support for refugees fleeing war and persecution. The National Flag of Ukraine Day is celebrated on the 23rd of August, ahead of Ukraine's Independence Day on the 24th of August. And this week, Ukrainians here in Winchester have marked the occasion with a get-together at St. Peter's Sanctuary Welcome Hub, with singing, dancing and delicious traditional food. Winchester College has been given permission to build its first girls' boarding house. It will be built just off St. Cross Road. The school admitted girls for the first time in its 640-year-old history last September. The first girl boarders will join in September 2024. Residents of Hyde in Winchester have started a campaign to encourage drivers to slow down. Many houses in Hyde Street have erected posters stating 20 is plenty in Winchester. A 20 mph zone was set up in the area, parts of Winnell, Highcliffe and the city centre in 2014. There are calls for it to be extended to other parts of the city. There are just a few more days for people to have their say about plans to close ticket offices at local railway stations, including Winchester's. The deadline on the consultation was extended until Friday the 1st of September. South Western Railway say many customers now buy tickets online, but charities such as Age Concern say they are worried about the impact on older travellers. Cranes are now operating on site this week between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. through to Friday the 25th of August as engineering work progresses on the essential bridge replacement project at Garnier Road in Winchester, and the machinery will be operational again from Tuesday the 29th to Thursday the 31st of August. The cranes will be lifting out pieces of the existing ton bridge. For safety reasons, pedestrians and cyclist access over the temporary footbridge will be halted for up to 30 minutes at a time whilst lifting takes place. A full closure of Garnier Road car park is planned on these dates, but it will reopen over the August bank holiday weekend from Saturday the 26th of August through to and including the bank holiday Monday. The annual community dig is taking place in Hyde this weekend. Hyde 900 has been running the event on the site of Hyde Abbey, the last known resting place of Alfred the Great. Previous digs have uncovered the remains of the church and cloisters in the gardens of residents. Finds include materials from the construction of the abbey, which was largely destroyed following the dissolution of the monasteries. Local residents are joining experts in the hope of uncovering more history. And that's your roundup of the news across the Winchester area.
Now we're approaching one of the busiest weekends for tourists in Winchester with the upcoming August bank holiday. Every year, thousands of people visit our city to see the magnificent cathedral, the architecture and riverside walks. So we thought we'd ask people how far they travelled and what they like best.
Well, we come from Devon.
Absolutely beautiful so far. We've obviously come to see the Great Hall and the cathedral. It's lovely. Market day, so that was a surprise. So
It's nice to see so many nice independent shops. You know, a lot of towns is just all the bog standard shops and nothing else. So it's nice to see lots of independent shops, but it's really busy and really lively. So yeah, really good.
Well, I'm actually British, but I live in France.
I live in Farnham.
What's brought you to Winchester?
We went to see the Round Table.
That's right, the Great Hall. That's the plan. And then the cathedral. Yeah, just have a day out.
I've come from Liverpool and it's a lovely city. Is that right? Is it a city? Is it a city?
It is a city, yeah.
It's a lovely city and everyone's very, very welcoming. So I definitely come back.
What have you enjoyed seeing the most?
I don't know, the shops probably, because there's a lot more independent shops here and that's what's really nice about it.
we've come from Hertfordshire. We haven't been in very long at the moment, but it does look very pretty. When we've driven around, the architecture's lovely. So I'm looking forward to exploring, and we're going to the cathedral.
We've come from Woking, but yeah, very nice city. Third time I've been here. Yeah, do love it here.
What do you like the most?
I love the markets, just love the vibe of the area. Yeah, it's very nice.
Well, we've been here for 2 days now.
2 days,
yeah. We're from Cape Town.
What do you think of Winchester?
Very nice, very lovely. Lovely town.
What have you enjoyed seeing the most?
Well, just seeing the whole city.
The cathedral.
Yeah. Cathedral, very nice, yeah. Top class, yeah.
Great to hear so much love for our many independent shops here in Winchester and of the warm, welcoming, friendly atmosphere which tourists love. Now for the latest in our features on the Hampshire Open Studios. And this week we visit a studio that's home to more than 20 artists, ranging from paint and photography to sculpture and jewellery. It's hidden away behind a row of homes in Winchester. And Mary Blaxland went to visit the Yard Studios and spoke to one of the artists, Rebecca Galbraith.
So firstly, tell me, what is the Yard Studios? A lot of people might not know it's here, hidden in Winchester.
We're one of the hidden gems in Winchester. We are a group of about 20 artists. We use 2 industrial buildings as art studios, experiments, spaces, place of collaboration.
And what sort of things do people do here? Tell me about some of the artists involved.
So we have painters, sculptors, we have people conducting kind of experiments into interior spaces. We've got a wide range of artists here, one of which is Tony. Tony is creating sound sculptures, which talks to his work as a therapist. He creates these incredible wooden sculptures, which also make sound. We've got Dan, who's a painter, experimenting with quite abstract work actually. And then we've got other painters such as Lizzie. She's creating some incredible landscapes and really shining a light on how beautiful Hampshire is. We've got people experimenting with interior space such as Claire and Belinda, taking apart spaces that we know and love and environments that we use every day.
And how important is it to have you all under this one roof? What difference does it make to all be together?
It's incredibly important. I mean, we have so many different kinds of discipline here. Everybody has a different practice. So Rob in the other studio, he's creating these incredible narrative-based sculptures which are so engaging but so very different to, say, my work, which is all about landscape in quite a loose way.
And you can share ideas, can't you, and thoughts and feelings?
Absolutely. It is such a helpful thing to have somebody poke their head round the door and say, stop fiddling with it, it's done. That's the most useful thing there. We've got artists such as Junko who work very slowly, building up layers and layers of gorgeous Japanese inks, and so her practice is much slower than, say, somebody working much faster in paint and more immediate print technologies such as Gillian and Barry.
And tell me a bit about the building. You've all got your sort of little homes here, haven't you, your little studios, but tell me a bit about this building that we're in.
We believe, well, I believe that this is a quarry at some time. The old OS maps show quarries sculpted out of the hill as you go up St Giles's Hill, and in older OS maps those are noted as Roman quarries. Now, how true this is, I obviously am making it up as I go along, but it's very close to the river, and perhaps the chalk was excavated and used for various building materials around Hampshire. Who knows? The actual buildings that we're in are very kindly leased to us by Winchester City Council. We believe they have a history as garages, motor mechanics at one stage in the 50s. Again, digging around in the old OS maps.
And some of you have careers, some of you do this as a hobby, or is it a job for some people?
We do have full-time artists here. We do have several people who mix practice, say, with yoga, such as Lisa. She's creating beautiful, beautiful images of flowers, which are very meditative, which kind of talks to her yoga practice as well. Sharon also has a background in yoga as well, and we've got several people that are involved in care and therapy, such as Rebecca down the other end of the studio. Myself and Belinda, we both work for the University of Portsmouth, and I think that shows that art practice has had to evolve over time. For very few people does it stand alone as one pursuit, but we feel that we need to create. We have this passion for creating, and it's important to keeping us happy and healthy.
And what can people see then when they come to the Open Studios?
Do come along. Yes, we're open at the weekends. See the Hampshire Open Studios website or leaflet for more details about when we're open. You'll see many different artists here. Have a look around our studios, poke your head around the door, see us at work. Many of us will be creating as we natter to you and say hello. So do come on down and meet other art lovers. You can find us on Instagram under The Yard Studios, and you can also find some of our artists posting there as well. We are at Matley Yard, which is off Wharf Hill, so just before you take the gravel road to the Water Meadows, turn left. You'll see some big pink banners saying Open Studios. Follow those up the drive and come and find us.
And Hampshire Open Studios takes place over the bank holiday weekend. For more details, visit hampshireopenstudios.org.uk.
Hi, I'm Paul Blitz, and welcome to this week's shout-outs here on Winchester Now. And we start with a big well done to Winchester man Mark Ryan, who swam across the Solent to raise money for the local charity Winner Rock School. It took him an hour and a quarter to make the crossing, but the 61-year-old is no stranger to challenges, having swum other long-distance events and marathons. Winner Rock School gives young people the chance to try music for free, and Mark wanted to help after seeing the difference it had made to one of his teenage family members. He's raised close to £1,000, which will be used towards providing the charity's free band workshops. And congratulations to Winchester's newest visitor attraction, which has been nominated for an international award. Anglo-Saxon Experience 878 AD is named in the Themed Entertainment and Attractions Project of the Year category of the AV Awards, which attracts entries from across the globe. The attraction, which opened in November last year, has been nominated for a string of awards this year. It was a partnership between the Hampshire Cultural Trust and gaming firm Ubisoft, and its aim is to bring Winchester's Anglo-Saxon history to life with AV projections, live performance and a reality app tour. The winner will be announced in November. Next, we want to sing praises for the amazing Fusion Choir and the Sign with Steve group and all the other volunteers involved on the night who delighted concert goers with their totally joyful evening of summer songs at a charity concert held at St Paul's Church. Special mention also for the impromptu and moving performance by Winchester Go LD member Jelvis. The fundraising concert raised £2,600 with ticket sales going to the local charity Winchester Go LD, which supports adults with learning disabilities to live life to the full. And finally, in what is proving to be an exciting summer for sports lovers, a shout out to some of the members of Winchester Goalball who have been selected to compete for Team GB at the International Blind Sports Federation World Games, and this is taking place in Birmingham this week. The 2023 IBSA is the largest high-level international event for athletes with visual impairments, with more than 1,250 competitors coming along from 70 nations. More shout-outs for you next week on Winchester Now.
Winchester Radio.
If you are feeling sporty, remember there's the opportunity to run, jog or walk on Saturday mornings at the 5k timed and free Winchester Park Run at North Falls Recreation Ground. If you've never done it before, just register online once and get yourself a scannable barcode, which you show each time you take part to be included in the results. They are a lovely team of volunteers who organise this event and always welcome having more volunteers to help on the rota too. If a gentle start to your Sunday morning would be more your thing, then free Winchester Park yoga sessions continue at the Garrison Ground near the new Winchester Sport and Leisure Park each weekend up to and including Sunday the 17th of September. People of all ages and abilities are welcome. No need to book, just take a yoga mat, towel and water bottle along. More details for both these free, sporty, community outdoor weekend activities can be found online. That's it for this edition of Winchester Now. Our volunteers hope you have enjoyed the programme. Many thanks for listening. To find out more about our charity, Winchester Radio, do visit our website, winchester.radio. And of course, you can follow us on social media. You'll find us at Winch Radio on both Facebook and Twitter. And remember, if you have a story for us, you can email it to us at news@winchester.radio.